So this is a job that I've been wanting to get to for a while now on the red W124. The wiring harness to the OVP relay has actually been chewed on by rats. No major damage to the actual copper itself other than a little bit of oxidization, but they've basically chewed through the insulation on the main positive cable and one of the smaller wires, which kind of needs to be fixed. I started out by dismantling the socket and taking these photos to know where the pins actually go, because I want to remove the wiring from the socket so it's easier to work with. After that was done, I turned on the soldering iron and started to get ready to remove some of the pin bushings at the end. I also cut off the rest of that PVC hosing that was getting in the way. So the first one I did was actually the main positive wire. I desoldered the pin bushing and then proceeded to slide on some heat shrink tubing over the chewed out section of insulation. I didn't just do one layer. I started out with two, so it's actually quite thick, the insulation over that hole now. And I then put a third layer on top of that. I had a bit of difficulty getting it to shrink on because it was so large, so I got out the hot air gun, and that did the job just fine. So this is the repaired harness. I just need to fit it in something now to protect it, and that's exactly what I did. So I fitted inside a PVC tubing just like the factory did, but not only that, it actually has corrugated conduit underneath that as well, so there's double protection for the wiring inside there. Hopefully now rats won't find that very tasty and will hopefully leave it alone. This is the finished job, all nice and neat and nothing exposed. The only potential issue is that the top end of the hose is pointing up, and I really should seal that off so it doesn't end up filling with water. But there's no copper exposed in there, so it shouldn't actually cause any damage anyway. I will deal with that later. On a side note, I forgot to mention yesterday, with the modification for the comfort control unit, now you can open the sunroof as well as the windows with just the door open and no key. Previously, on the Australian version, this was not possible. This sunroof is very dry. I'm going to have to clean it and lubricate it, obviously, but that will happen after the paint job because it's going to have to be dismantled anyway. To my surprise, it actually works perfectly.